Okay, hi guys, just another video here. Getting ready. I'm going to be doing some cool fishing the next couple days. I'm going to be fishing a small little tournament with the Fibbers. Those guys are super cool, catching calico bass, a little tournament, and then working with a tagging operation for calico bass out of La Jolla, working with them to catch, tag, and release a bunch of calico bass, do some research, that kind of stuff. So I figured as I'm getting ready and stuff, I will kind of show you a lot of different baits. And this can be super overwhelming, so I tried to break it down into your typical swim bait patterns, and then your weedless swim bait patterns, this kind of stuff, and then into your creature bait stuff, into your standard bait fishing with squid and anchovies, that kind of stuff, and then into your hard baits and that kind of thing. And I just want to showcase a couple different things. We'll start in the upper left hand corner. A lot of times it's not practical in a situation like this where we're fishing, like when we're fishing the that tagging trip. It's we're in La Jolla, that's closed. It doesn't get any boat traffic, no fishing pressure, so they're wide open. But you could go through some of these swim baits pretty good, even though like these guys are pretty durable and that kind of stuff. You're catching 40-50 bass a day. You can go through a lot of swim baits, especially when you're getting into the big weedless stuff like this, with like this is a $4 hook and this is a $4 bait. So you're throwing $8 out there, including line. You're talking a $10 commitment to be throwing stuff like this. It's like the price of a surface iron or something like that. So that's where hard baits come in. For me, is something that I could catch 100 fish on this guy right here, and it'd be no big deal. You know, some of the paint gets scratched up, but that's about it. But so I'll kind of show you the rundown. Kind of went deep to shallow, I guess, and heavy to light, where this is a man's 30-foot plus deep diving crankbait. This thing gets down really well. You want to use heavy rod for this, extra heavy rod even if you needed to, and this guy just dives to about 20. So Mans and Strike King are both cool. I think this is an XD10 or 10XD or whatever that is. And then spinner baits. I love spinner baits, and these are kind of the main spinner baits I go to, 1 ounce or bigger. This is a 1 ounce. I don't remember the brand, but I change out this one actually has a stinger hook in case you're getting short bit and stuff. But I change out the blades. I like the blades that Bass Pro Shop has. This is a good early morning color, even getting into the evening. I've even caught spotted bay bass in the middle of the day, even with the blackhead. And then Reeves is a pretty cool company that's local here in Southern California. Look at the way that head turns up and gets it. This thing's super weedless. Again, I actually didn't have to change the blades on in this. And Reeves is really cool because they zip tie. I don't know if you can see it. They zip tie their skirts on and stuff, and that's a plus that a lot of companies aren't doing, whether it be swim jigs or spinner baits. A lot of times you lose a skirt and you're like, what am I going to do with that? And then this is the big mamma jam. If we're fishing like sand bass on deeper stones and that kind of stuff, this thing could sink out. It's like 2.5 ounces, super heavy, again on heavy bass gear, that kind of thing. And so this is kind of your more durable stuff. And then a lot of guys, even there's definitely scenarios where throwing the surface iron. This is a Taddy 45. Produces lots of bass over at the islands and that kind of stuff. I don't throw many jerk baits. I know a lot of guys are into the Lucky Crafts and the IMAs and that kind of stuff, but this is like a $2 knockoff. I just put some spots, cut some fish on it. Hooks are an important thing. You see, I don't fish this stuff very often. See, these are cadmium plated hooks. But if you want to get into really good crankbait fishing and that kind of stuff, fishing hard baits, you want good quality round bin trebles, and some guys even put quads on and that kind of stuff. And then I fish 2 different sizes of the Shimano Waxwing. I think this is the boy and the junior, and you can see like these things get bit like really well. Subsurface bait, so it's not diving like a crankbait, but it dives a little bit deeper. You can sink it out a little bit deeper than a jerk bait, kind of similar to a surface iron, but a different profile. Some even lighter spinner baits. This is like a 1/2 ounce spinner bait, done really well with, and that kind of stuff. It's really old. And then this thing I kind of just came up with. I caught 1 or 2 fish on it, nothing insane, but it's essentially like an East Coast bucktail with underspin, and you just put a good swivel system on, and either a Colorado blade or a willow leaf, that kind of thing. Bait fishing, I like to, if I'm just using sliding egg sinker to strip a squid or something, I like to use the glow, okay, like 1/2 ounce glow. That'll cover most of the water column you're going to be fishing in, especially if you're early in the morning or evening. That glow will really set things off. If you've ever seen a Dan Hernandez show, these things at Catalina are nuts. As long as you're not too thick in the kelp, again, these things with open hooks and that kind of stuff, too deep in the kelp, you're going to get hung up. The spinner baits, although, are incredibly weedless because you're pulling from the line tie, and especially these guys with the swept lips and that kind of stuff, super weedless. And then if I'm fishing sand bass at night on a twilight trip or something like that, just a 1 ounce or 1.5 ounce glow in the dark, or not even glow in the dark, lead head with a whole squid on could be money during certain times of the year. Good into creature baits, something I don't throw too much, but also want to have in your arsenal, from super light to heavier kind of stuff. This is just like a Robo flipping craw that I fish a lot for green bass and spotted bay bass. Super cool. I like these. I've used owners for the most part, but Gamakatsu makes a skip gap hook, which like these pants don't get pulled down at all. And so you could like Texas rig this for small bass on the surface, especially in a tagging situation where we're not really looking for targeting, the trophy bass, just more of a numbers game. We want to catch the small ones too and check mortality rates and see growth and longevity and that kind of stuff. These lighter baits, like this MC guy with open, you could rig it weedless for sure. It's got the depression there, but you could fish it open on sparse kelp and that kind of stuff. It's really good. I like this bait a lot. I've only caught a couple of fish on it because it's pretty new. Jared Smith runs Sierra Slammers, and I fish a lot of trout up in the Sierra and that kind of thing. And this is just essentially an oversized version of their 2.5 inch swim bait. It's 5 inches. It's a black cherry. Good profile on it, and it's all ribbed, and I like this tail. It's something I want to fish more and catch more fish on. Definitely a sleeper bait, new company. And then you just get crazy with stuff. These Wrangler heads are kind of fun if you could find them for a decent price on like curly tail Senkos, big Reaper tails. I love these Reaper tails. Phoenix Bait Company, amazing, really good heads, sharp hooks, hand tied skirts that they're not going anywhere. Good quality baits. Big old Reaper tails. You could even split this. A lot of guys will split the tail right here and give it even more of a kicking action, that kind of stuff. On a 5/8 head, and then more reeb stuff, more just creature bait stuff. If you want to get down deeper, you could even tip it with squid, that kind of stuff. 3 ounce head with a Mogambo. Probably the biggest sand bass I've ever caught was on like a lighter head than this, but on a big Mogambo strip tipped with squid. Just more scampies, that kind of stuff. And this is something new I actually haven't fished yet. Picked it up at the Fred Hall show and kind of lost it and then found it again. It's Savage Lures. I think Savage Lures ran by Okuma, and this is heavy. It's like a 1 ounce head, but look at that profile, super slim profile, so you can get away with a bigger body. Super soft bait. I don't know how well it's going to hold up like to constant abuse, but definitely one of the softest plastics out on the market as far as swim baits go and that kind of thing. Definitely going to get chewed. Again, open hook, so you want to fish it in sparse kelp. You don't want to fish this open stuff in the deepest of structure or deepest of kelp and that kind of thing. You'll get hung up, except for the war baits. We'll go over that. But I guess we'll focus on that now. So here you can see the range